I'm Tia Borden with MiningIR, and beside me is Ian Fraser of Fathom Nickel. Ian, thank you so much for joining me today.
Very nice to be here. Thank
Can
you.
you give us an overview of the company and tell us what differentiates Fathom from other junior mining companies?
Well, we have two projects in Saskatchewan, and Saskatchewan is somewhat underexplored for nickel. So we're looking for nickel. It's always fascinated me that the province of Manitoba, right next door to the east, has the Thompson Nickel Belt. And we are in the same orogeny, we're in the same belt of rocks, but I just think it's been underexplored. And both of our properties, one was a past producer, a very small production, and the other one has a historic resource. So we sort of, we started with some advantages, so to speak, and we're just looking to build both projects up and demonstrate that they have resources.
Tell us a bit more about both of those projects. What was the last year like for you, and what are you looking forward to and excited about with regards to those projects in the new year?
Well, I'll answer that by starting with the second project, because it's only, we've had it for just over a year now. And so in 2023, we've drilled just under 3,000 meters, 9 holes. The first hole that we drilled in February was actually maybe even a little bit too good. It's kind of set the bar pretty high for us, but we did intersect 58 meters of 1.5% nickel. So that garnered a lot of attention. So we've been able to leverage that. And doing quite well with respect to that. And then we followed that up with 7 holes in September. We've released those results, and they were very good results, but they've been met with mixed reviews. We've had a little bit of a drop off in the price of nickel, and it's being reflected in our share price as well. The second project, we didn't do very much work there this year, but we're looking forward to drilling a very, very high priority target that we've developed. And we hope to get at that as early as the second week of January in 2024.
Very exciting. And how is the financial health of the company?
Junior exploration. With success, you need to raise more money. So we do have dollars in the bank, but we're looking to do a financing. And the tricky part is when do you do it? We had a significantly higher share price through the summer months. And as I mentioned, things have kind of tailed off as of the last couple of 3 weeks. And so we're trying to announce a financing when, hopefully just a slightly healthier share price.
Now, are you partnering with First Nations, doing work with them? And what are you doing also to maintain environmental sustainability throughout?
Well, we're very early, so we're an early stage exploration company and projects. But before getting on a plane to come over to Europe, I spent last weekend in the town of La Ronge meeting with the First Nations Trappers Association. 2 weekends prior to that, I had a meeting with the Lac La Ronge Indian Band. And I have meetings scheduled the last week of January with some of the various communities in and around our project. So they like to be informed, and I think that's fair. So part of what we do on a day-to-day basis, in the financial markets and meeting and greeting with people, but also a big focus is making the First Nations aware of what is going on in their backyard, so to speak. So.
Are you doing anything innovative or taking any new approaches when it comes to these projects?
Well, yeah, on the exploration front, as I mentioned, both of them have some history. The Albert Lake Project, there was a small bit of production there in the mid 1960s, extremely high grade nickel, 3.3% nickel and 9 grams per ton platinum, palladium plus gold. It was only 26,000 tons. It was extracted from a resource that was deemed to be 50 to 60,000 tons. We have since drilled holes in the ground and recognized that there is more of this mineralization. We think it's structurally controlled and there's been an offset. And so we're looking at depths of 250 to 300 meters, hopefully this winter, to test that scenario. When we formed the company, we were private from 2015 right up till 2021. We became public in 2021. And we set out to prove that that historic Rottenstone deposit, this very, very high-grade nickel, was not there all by itself. And we were successful. We have found more of this type of mineralization, so it's proof of concept, if you will, that we're in a large magmatic nickel system. And we recognize the geochemical signature, we recognize the geophysical signature, and we're getting a much better understanding of the geology. So utilizing those tools going forward will be very, very helpful. I do spend a lot of time talking about borehole EM, and this is the in-hole geophysics. It's been nicknamed the giant metal detector. It's very, very effective when your drill hole has not been successful. It's very, very good at telling you why you missed and where to go next. So that's been a pretty valuable tool at both projects.
Very neat. What are you doing to maintain communication with your investors and your shareholders?
Well, my colleague and I, Doug and I, we've spent a lot of time doing Zoom meetings. That's pretty common for most people these days. But we've been fortunate enough to follow that up with in-person meetings. So we've been working with a US-based group. We've been working with a German-based group, and they organized the Zoom calls, and then we've been able to follow them up with face-to-face meetings. And even here yesterday, a shareholder came by, and you could just, it was great for both of us. And we really enjoy meeting the shareholders. And I think he walked away with a little better understanding of what it is that we're doing and where it is we're going. And so you just can't beat face-to-face.
Human interaction.
And that was so sorely missed during the dark
pandemic.
days.
Yes, agreed. Ian,
Yeah.
is there anything else that you would like to leave our audience with?
Well, yeah, again, I think just at the intro, Saskatchewan is a tremendous jurisdiction. We're doing our very, very best to keep the communities informed, consultation, and the other word I keep hearing is collaboration. So we're making a very strong effort in those fronts. And we think, again, Manitoba has the Thompson Nickel Belt. At both our projects, we have intersections that are exceeding 3% nickel. So I really do believe as we move these projects forward, we're going to be able to demonstrate that we do have high-grade nickel. So nickel that's better than 1%. And one of the projects has a very, very good cobalt credit. And as we go forward, critical metals and greening of power supply and automobiles, obviously, we need nickel, we need copper, we need cobalt, and we need it from safe jurisdictions. And Canada's top of the list. Yes. Yeah.
Ian, thank you so much. It was a pleasure chatting with you.
Thank you very much.